Okay, it should be live now. Hopefully it's working. I'm gonna go back to the Rift City channel and make sure that everything is working.
Tell me when it's working so we can just do this properly.
Yeah.
It was all going to go plan.
Okay, looks like it's live.
Okay. Hello, everybody, every pony, everything. We're not totally doing this twice. let's skip the really long intro. He's the Lord. He is our Savior. He's our great master. He is Lazerhawk.
Okay, now that intro sounds like you're talking about Jesus. Can we can we pick some prophet and stop changing it every time?
Every intro for you is going to be completely different. You know that.
Yeah.
I can barely remember them at the best of times.
Okay.
But for anyone who missed the first part, can you say what you who you are later and what you do?
Right now I'm just trying to reshare this link. So give me just a second. Okay. New stream link. And the enter button doesn't actually send things. All right. So just as a recap for who I am and what I do, I am, like I said, as mentioned, I am the current leader of the Rift City group. I also make my own videos, but there's kind of what's the word, sparse, I suppose, and not very consistent. But I do talk about things. Mainly, it's just sort of a chat group, more of a chat series. I have a series called A Cup of Tea, where I just sort of talk about things. And then if there's service announcements that we need to talk about, like for the Rift City, that we don't want to put on the Rift City channel specifically, I will handle those.
So one of the main questions, the obvious question, is how did you get into MLP?
Okay, so that's that's a good question. With that, what happened was, I was hanging. I had a friend at school who I saw he was watching MLP during lunch, and then I was like, what are you watching? He's like, MLP, and then he explained it to me. I was like, oh, okay, sure, whatever. And then I moved along, and then my twin brother got into the show, so then I was like, oh, okay. After that, I started watching it, and it was really funny because once I started watching it, because I found a site that had like all the episodes, I then watched, I think because of the time, I watched all 5 seasons within a succession of about 3 days. I watched 5 seasons, and I then and during that time, season 6 was going, so I watched about 3 episodes of season 6.
So you didn't get any. You didn't get any sleep at all, then?
Oh well, maybe it was probably I think it might have been more than 3 days, but like it was like 3-ish days, probably somewhere between 3 to 5 days. I watched the episodes, and what was great actually, I find it really hilarious because a lot of people hate the Equestria Girls series, but when I was watching the episodes, I was like, wait, there's movies too, and then my brother was like, yeah, but they take place like the first one's after season 3, then after season 4, then after season 5. And so what I did was I watched seasons 1 through 3. Then I'm like, okay, I can watch the movie now. I watched the movie. Then I watched season 4. Then I watched the second movie. Then I watched season 5. Then I watched the third movie. And then I started watching season 6.
So basically, you're basically the definition of me. Watch one episode, 19 hours later, still watching the show.
Yeah. It goes like there was a funny sketch I saw once before where a person was trying to get his friend to watch My Little Pony, and he like watches the first episode. It's like, well, it's a 2-parter. I guess I have to watch the second episode. And then it goes like, maybe I'll just watch one more episode. And then it cuts to him at like 7 in the morning the next day. It's like, did I just watch the whole first season?
Yeah, you are basically that definition.
Yeah, I literally saw the show, and I don't know what drove me to keep watching it, because I was like, this is interesting. And I think it was also during a time where it was like I had nothing better to do, and like I didn't watch like shows on TV, so I just said, I said, you know what? I was like determined to get through all of it.
So and then, another important question is, how did you become part of the Rift City?
Give me a sec. I just want to say, by the way, I am the Rift City symbol, just so you guys know.
Yes. He is Lazerhawk. He's just He's disguised as the Rift City logo for today.
Yeah, we're gonna until we can potentially figure out how to get the thing to work properly for the other interviews. But regardless, I got into the Rift City because this was back when I used Equestria Amino because I was like, I was probably in the fandom for like maybe like probably somewhere between 6 months to maybe a year. I was in the fandom, and then I was like, oh, there's an app for it. So I looked into Equestria Amino, got the app for a while. I don't use it anymore just because I don't have the space for it. But when I was using the app, I heard about I heard this announcement from someone, and it was a video titled "A Brony in Need," and it was a video made by Fast Track. So then I looked at Fast Track's I went to Fast Track, saw the video, and he was talking about Jakey Arnold. And Jakey, for those that don't know, Jakey is the original owner of the Rift City and the founder. He's one of the founders, if not, I believe specifically is the founder. It's kind of like a tie between him and Robert, who truly founded the group. But I learned about Jakey and heard that his parents were very disapproving of him being a brony. So he made like a wager with his dad that if the next stream got like enough views, Jakey would be allowed to keep his channel. So I wanted to stick around for that. So I subscribed to Jakey, put on notifications to try to catch a stream. And I think I only saw like a bit of that stream. And then I later saw a stream with him it was Jakey Arnold, Robert Who, Snugritz, Fast Track, and Flutter Rose. So I saw and they were talking about MLP villains. So I was like, oh, and I was able to see a majority of that stream and was able to chat a bit in the chat, I think. And I actually really enjoyed that stream. And then after that, there was a thing where Jakey started doing these things called just like he was just as having people join the call. He'd put the link to the Hangouts call. So then I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. So I was like, and a part of me was sort of in disbelief because it was like, there's no way he would actually put the link to the call in the chat. So I grabbed my mic just in case, and I clicked the link and was like, oh, he really did put the link to the call in the chat. So then I talked to Jakey and a couple other people that were on at the time. I don't remember the real roster, but I think people like Pat Rex, Mirror Marvel. I don't know. I can't remember if you were there, but it was like, it was a lot of the older members of the Rift City because it was from that chat room that the Rift City really expanded for the first time. But yeah, so basically it was just me joining a call, one of Jakey Arnold's banter streams. I joined the call, we chatted, and then people kept chatting in that chat room, so we kept that chat room after the stream. And then that became, he just sort of allotted a bunch of people into the Rift City from that chat room because he liked the people in that group.
So many people know you're the leader of the Rift City, but you started out as a mod. How did you become a mod, and why did you become a mod?
All right, so with becoming a mod, I think it was obviously after I became a member. I think for a couple weeks, between a month, I started chatting with Robert Who to see, because I was curious about a mod staff. I was like, guys, we have a mod staff, right? And then Robert Who's like, yeah, we've got a mod staff. We got Jakey, the owner. Robert was the head mod. Dark Flare was the second mod. And then, so those are the people that we worked with at the time. And then he was like, but we might need other mods. And I'm like, hey, do you want me to be a mod? And he was like, yeah, sure, you can be a mod. So then I was added to the mod staff, and I, started doing stuff like that. And one of the reasons I want to become a mod was because I want to help the Rift City channel grow a lot. And what I was thinking for the group was like, now Jakey is the owner, and I do want to keep a lot of his content on his channel. But I was like, if we have the Rift City as a separate YouTube channel, which Robert Who informed me it was, but the issue with the old Rift City YouTube channel was it was under his account name as well. It was like a separate channel under the same email, so no one else could access the channel. So I was like, what if we had the mods also be able to hold the streams? Because this was, I think, also during a time where Jakey's computer literally caught fire. He literally just said one day in the chat, guys, my computer's smoking and I don't know what to do. Yeah, and then that's why, and then we were like, well, how are we going to do streams? And I was like, well, we can make another channel. So literally that night it was probably I started at 11 and finished at midnight. I made a whole Google account just for the Rift City, and then I made the Google Drive, the YouTube page, and I started organizing all of our stuff through the Google Drive. I gave the account information to all of our mods at the time with everything they need, as well as contact information to me in case there's a thing with Google where it's going to say, hey, this computer's in a separate country. It might not be you. So then there's that issue that we still really don't have a way to ground out other than people having to text me at whatever time of day saying, hey, the account doesn't recognize my computer yet, send me, and then they'll send me a message and I'll need to approve it, or else they can't use the Google Drive and stuff. But yeah, right now with our current mod stuff, everyone should have access to the account. And I really like it being that way. So that means it isn't reliant on just the leader to make content. Everyone else can make content or help host streams if the leader is not available.
So at the early stages of the group and the early stages of building the group, what was the most important thing you learned?
That's a really good question. Darn. I need to think about this. Most important thing I've learned. I would say, wait, Dark Flare's got a very funny comment. He goes, I sold my access to the account to a cookie. Well then, Dark Flare, that's unfortunate. Maybe we could try to get you access again, but oh man.
So
but like yeah, but most important thing I've learned, I think that something that when I became a mod, I immediately started working a lot for the group, and that consumes up a lot of my time. And nowadays, like I have to fight to not be a control freak when it comes to some things, because like I really enjoy hosting the streams and stuff. But then since you, Patrick, were able to start hosting, I'm like, oh yeah, sure, go ahead, do those things. And unfortunately, it's still even when we had more available time, it was still the same time slots that people wanted. So we just kept streaming, and I was still there and present. But I'm trying to cut back on doing everything, mainly because the mods keep telling me to stop doing everything. And it's really been an interesting experience, because it's like I've never been in a position where I've had so much influence over others and had so much control of like the direction of where our group can go and what we do. I've never been in this kind of position where I had so much quote unquote power. And that's been really kind of like an eye-opening experience, because it's like I can't do everything. And like for all my life, I always try to remind myself that like I do still have limits, and I don't try to see myself as some crazy amazing person. But then when I got into this group and I started doing so much work, I was just like, wow, I can just keep working, and if I just keep slaving away and work terrible hours, this group will become amazing and stuff. And it's just like over that time, I was just like more recently, I just can't keep up with all these things that are happening. I can't keep up with, like, we're getting more applications, we're getting more projects done, and they're really great to see. But I still have like a ton of work I still need to do, and I need to learn that I can't do everything, and I do need to spread the weight of what we're doing, because it's not feasible for me to do things, which is why we're having Patrick do a lot of the streams, because Patrick, especially the gaming stream, he's the only one that can really do it. So it's great to have Patrick do those streams that don't require me to be present. And Mira's working on video projects. Right now, in fact, Snogritz is working on I won't say for what it is, but he's also working on a video project for us, which I greatly appreciate, because it's just like, when I see that we need a video project that needs to get done, like, I'll edit it straight away, because I want to be the person in control of the editing. I need to cut that out, because I need to let people do their own work and do their own thing, so it's just not me all the time.
So you've talked about the future, but let's talk about the present. As the Rift City has changed a lot since its early days. What
Yeah.
do you think has been the best change for the Rift City, and what have you enjoyed the most being part of the Rift City?
Huh. That's a good. Darn it, Patrick. How long did you take to think of these questions? Jeez. Uh,
It's why I do this. It's why
yeah,
I.
yeah, you're good. It's just like, what's something? I think one of the best changes was getting the mod staff more involved, and I think also trying to get more members involved as well, because originally a lot of it was just run through Jakey, and Jakey did a phenomenal job, and none of us would be here without him. But then there's the issue where it's like once he added like a ton of people to the group all at once, it was like, you know, that's a lot for one person to process. So like Robert, who was incredible. He did made a lot of assets for us that we really need to utilize because they're out there. We're just need to get to using them, because Robert Who was a huge help with this group, and again, we wouldn't be here without him. And so Robert Who was a great mod and did an amazing job. But I think right now, what I'm enjoying and the best changes is the mod staff is able to keep the channel going, because I feel like this like past month has probably been the most active month for the Rift City, because we're doing so much. We've gotten videos out, we've done streams, we've got new stuff in the works. We like and then getting the Twitter up, being that I'm not like when we first made the Twitter, I was the only one using it. But then when we got mods like Mira and Patrick, they were also a huge help with getting the Twitter, because I just can't find every single video we make and put it out there. And we still miss some videos, and we need to remind our members that we have a Twitter to promote this content. It's just like, even though we have like a great mod staff, there's only so much we can do, because we just can't remember every single video that comes out. Like Cartoon Gentleman, like he just makes video after video, and it's like, Jesus, dude, slow down, we can't keep up. And then Patrick makes video, you know, Patrick, you make a video like a few each week. And then there's people like Danger makes content very regularly. So does Scary. Well, actually, no, not much of Scary. Scary's here and there, but like we have quite a few members that post very regularly, and it's really hard to keep up with. But I think as a whole, the mod staff, them becoming more involved, has been really great, because it's sped along applications, and we're only getting in people that we really like and can trust. Like we're not getting in someone that's like, we do like good background checks, and we are getting in people that we can trust and people that we know are going to do things when they join the group.
So now it's going to be to the hard questions, and I know these.
Oh wait, those weren't the hard questions.
You don't have to answer these questions, but
wait, can we take a second then and just look at the chat, because I think that can you do a self-conscious stream? Dark Flare, we do self-conscious streams is any stream that I host. Those are always the self-conscious ones. And then Darkus said, mod staff be good, but what I am seeing is that the Rift City was made because why not? I think, well, to go back, that's a good question. The Rift City, from Jakey's eyes, was made to help get people that weren't like in the cafe or in the other groups. This was supposed to be the extra outlet for people can easily get in, hang out, chat with people, and make new friends. And we try to continue to embody that image. Nowadays, it's just kind of hard to process so many people coming in, as well as the fact that we do want to make sure that we're just not letting in like scumbags that like make. We don't want to let in people that are just here to cause problems. We do want to check that the person, you know, is nice and will get along with our members, as well as we want to make sure that they're going to do something here rather than say hi for the first day and then disappear into oblivion later.
The best comparison is Rift Cafe are Red Bull, we are Toro Rosso. If anyone understands why that is the perfect analogy for the two groups, they will understand everything.
Yeah. if you get this metaphor, if you get this obscure metaphor, you'll understand.
But I'm going to have to ask some very tough questions. You don't have to answer them, Laser, but we're going to have to start going into a bit of the drama. Now, you've been dealing with a lot of interesting drama, from Red Chaos to Jakey to romance. What has been the hardest thing you've had to deal with?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. I think with one of the biggest things that that I've struggled with covering the sort of drama things that we've had to deal with in the past would be the first time it happened. I got reports from Romance and Pat Rex about it, saying, "Hey, Red did something really bad. You need to look at it." And then I was just like, it was. And what's annoying is because both Red, Romance, and Pat all live in the UK area. So when I get these messages, it's literally during the middle of school. So like during lunch, I pull up my laptop, find the messages, start watching the stuff about Red, and I'm just sort of like shaking because I wasn't used to like having this issue before. And a lot after that, I got like a lot more stern about stuff, and like, it's sort of like a toughening up moment. But then I think the biggest time, because I try to portray as like a very rational and well-spoken person, and that's why I try to put out on my videos and stuff. But like when things like this come up, I am legit shaken when I see these things, and I will have like nights and stuff while I'm like trembling trying to piece together these things. My mental stability sort of goes through the roof. Goes out the window, I mean, during times like these. And like I think the biggest thing was just like I don't want to turn this into like bashing anyone, but I think like the most difficult time for me was with Romance and things that she said publicly, because it's just like, I know that she has every right to talk about what happened and to voice concerns about the group and how she didn't feel comfortable. But then there's also the fact that like my concern was that she wrote all of the stuff she announced it like on impulse, wasn't truly comprehending or paying attention to what she was doing, because she worded things very poorly, and then she made very bad accusations that she couldn't back up. And she has admitted that she shouldn't have done it, or at least that she's admitted with the points that I made in those videos. But like what really shook me was the fact that she made all these accusations, and then for the time I was processing all of this, like the days I was making the video, talking to people about it, collecting evidence to make sure that I've covered all of our bases, like in the back of my mind, there's just this daunting question of why would she say these things when she knew she couldn't back them up? And also, why didn't she like talk to us about it? And then the fact, seeing that all of this was going on and that I didn't know about it, was really concerning, which is why during our meetings and stuff, I try to stress that I want people to voice concerns, and they don't have to be public with voicing concerns. They can just contact a mod privately, and the mod staff will talk about it, and we'll, keep the person, like identity a secret unless it needs to come out and whatnot. And that is something that really shook me, because it was like, she just was so upset, and I was like, why weren't we able to help sooner? And I was really displeased on how things went down, like, because I made multiple videos, because there was the one about why Romance and Jakey left. It was mainly about just clearing the name for the Rift City, so to speak, and clearing up accusations that were falsely made, as well as like we had to address why Jakey was gone and why we have a new leader, because Jakey was, he was the leader. It had to be done. And then Romance, we want to explain that she did in fact leave, and we're not. One of the things I like to stress is transparency with the group, and that we don't cover things up. We never try to cover anything up. It's just sometimes we want to wait until we have a plan of attack, a battle strategy, before we swing open the gates and say we have problems.
Did anything good come out of any of the drama? Did anything good?
I think, yeah.
Did you enjoy any of it, or was it always toil? Was it always hardship?
When it comes to doing things like this, I am a person that likes to argue with people. I'm a very like I enjoy arguments and stuff, and I enjoy having disagreements with people, and like, you know, I'm a very critical thinker, as well as a I like to think outside of the box and sort of expand ideas. I love it when places like expand ideas. Like, just as a quick example, for the new video game that's out, Detroit Become Human, like it's a small thing they do with the game, but they have so many like journals and like magazines lying around that you can read in the game, and it expands on, it really helps build this world. Like, it talks about it talks about global warming, it talks about what it's like to live with androids, it talks about like growing depression rate and unemployment. Like, it has all these extravagant ideas that's coming off of this video game, and that's what I really enjoyed about it. And when having debates and like from this drama, one of it's not, drama isn't really a good thing per se, but I think I try to see it as a learning experience as best as possible. And my absolute favorite comments, I actually love seeing comments on those videos from people that like say, yes, I kind of agree with you, but I also feel like you should have done this, or I feel that this should have been better explained, or I disagree with you on these points. Like, those are the best comments that I ever see, is because people are giving me original thought. And like, something I also explain with the drama is, please, if I make a mistake, correct me, because I don't want to keep, you know, misinforming people. And I want to promote conversation about this, because with issues like this, where it's just like people having arguments and stuff online, the best way to settle them is with a discussion, because that's really all we really can do. And I love promoting discussions and stuff, but like, the drama was like, it was really hard to get through. And like, with the Underground Rift and romance and stuff like that, I made like a total of like 4 videos, I think it was, because there was why Jakey and Romance left, well, addressing them. Then there was advice for Underground Rift. Then there was the I'm tired video, which actually kind of helps answer this question, was to explain that I'm not trying, like, part of me enjoys the process of like helping, because it was a lot of it was like defending my friends and proving that like the reason those videos go up on my channel is because they're my response. And one of the confusions one of the things I didn't like is some people said, oh, this is the Rift City, and that it's bad, and it's Rift City's fault that these videos were made. And the truth is, it wasn't the Rift City that like quote unquote authorized those videos to be put out. That's why they're on my channel. I made the videos because I wanted to do something about it, and I didn't want it to reflect entirely on the group, nor did I want to have other people address it, because I don't want them to have to deal with the backlash that I received and stuff like that. But I do love. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Worried about the reception you were going to get from these videos, and are you glad that you got good reception for these videos?
I mean, I was definitely concerned with how some people are going to receive it, because there's an issue that I see a lot of times with like sort of systems that like YouTube runs on, like, because YouTube, like, from a creator standpoint, your standing is 100% based on social status. It's not whether or not you're a good person, or whether or not, you know, you like save someone. It doesn't depend on like whether or not you have a good job and you're happily married to someone, and that you know, keep your kids well fed and educated. Like, that doesn't really, that can add to your social status, but it doesn't matter about like economic standing or like really who you are. It just matters on how you present yourself and how you're received. So like, my concern with this system is that a lot of times people will side with people based on popularity rather than them actually being right. I have great examples would be people that like watch Logan Paul or Jake Paul and stuff like that. Like, they like their content, and that's fine to like their content for the most part. There's obviously several things I won't agree with on that regard, but like, they're so popular that they're able to keep doing what they're doing is the thing. Not because they're you know, good people, or that they contribute to society. It's just because they're popular, and that gets them where they need to be. And I had concerns with addressing why Jakey and Romance left, I had huge concerns with that because both Jakey and Romance were very likable people in the Rift City, and they're probably two of the most well-known people in the group, and saying that they're gone now, and I was afraid that people would be like, oh, you guys are terrible, you got rid of them, that's why we make the videos, to address the issue, because we don't want to cover things up. I was really concerned of people that like Jakey and just like Jakey, and people that liked Romance and just liked Romance would get mad at the Rift City for causing them to leave, and would start to hate the Rift City members because their favorites left, so to speak. And I was concerned of people valuing Jakey and Romance, and because they like them, rather than seeing the picture that they did make mistakes and there are proper reasons for why they left. And we're gonna hope that they're doing good now. I know that Romance is still struggling with issues, and I hope that she feels better soon. But I can't say much of anything for Jakey because I have literally haven't spoken with him in ages. But I'm going to hope that he's doing well as well. But it's just, they were really popular people in the group, and I was afraid that with the reception, people are just gonna be mad because the people they liked are gone.
This might be the hardest question of the thing.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm gonna try and word this as best as I can. You became the mod after Jakey. How hard is it?
You mean the owner?
Yeah,
we should probably say leader. Owner doesn't feel right because it's really the mods that sort of run the Rift City, and it's the
after Jakey, who had many issues, who we all thought may have died at one point.
There was a few points actually. There was
when you first became the leader, was it hard to accept that fact? And was it hard to ever deal with all these issues of this friend you had almost losing him and trying to do what he set out to do?
That was a very good question. With that, it was one of the things, Jakey was a really interesting person. He had gone through a lot. He had struggled with a lot of mental illnesses and addictions to alcohol and stuff like that. I don't want to really besmirch his name and whatnot, because despite all of the rough things he's gone through, and he had lots of questionable actions, but to know that he was still around was he was kind of like a walking miracle, so to speak. He went through so much and still wouldn't go down. And of all the people to try to make of all the people in the world, he's one of the last people I think who would ever try to make a group like the Rift City. To see him make the Rift City, when I first found him, he was I thought he was a very odd person to make the Rift City, and I won't lie, I was I'm not sure about this group and how well it's gonna do, because I didn't know Jakey well at the time. And then when I met him, I was confused on why he felt so determined to make this group, and being able to talk with him and hang out with him, I really enjoyed hanging out with him for a very long time. There's just near the end towards his leave, we had issues which caused him to leave. But him going out of his way to fight against his parents' wishes to try to make a group and do something special, and to try to make a group that sort of exceeds the expectations of places like the Cafe and the Secret Rift and places like that, which is still sort of a goal to me, because I really think that no offense to the other groups, but and maybe it's just because I don't know enough about them, but I way prefer the structure that we have here at the Rift City, as well as the fact that we focus heavily on making content as a whole, as a group, as a team. But when we had multiple discussions when we thought there was one big time where he was told by the doctor to literally get his affairs in order from the doctor himself after an examination. We then started talking about who should replace Jakey as the leader of the group. And in the mod staff, this was a very difficult conversation. Jakey, as I've mentioned before, wanted romance to lead, which I was totally okay with that as a recommendation. But I also felt that we should, one, let the whole group decide, and two, let other people apply should they wish. And that's and when Jakey did leave, that is what we did. But it was like, and it was really interesting because when that conversation came up, I was one of and it only came down to two people. Romance was recommended by Jakey, and then I was recommended by the mods. Like, to see how quickly people turned to me whenever we had times where it's like, would Jakey might when we might have to replace Jakey, it was really, to me, kind of scary how quickly people would turn to me and say, "Hey, Laser, you do it," because it was just like, I mean, I understand why they said those things, but it's like an issue that I had with becoming leader was I never wanted to become leader because Jakey had to go. I didn't want Jakey's downfall to turn into my rise into power, so to speak. To me, it just felt really corrupt and bad. And like, even to this day, one of my driving factors to keep going is because I want to prove that I'm doing a good job, because I still don't like the fact that I was made leader because we had to lose Jakey. I'm still not happy with that fact, because to me, I don't know if Jakey would have been a better leader, but I feel like he was the one that started this, and when people come to the Rift City, or back then at least, when they came to the Rift City, it's because they knew who Jakey was, and they were like really interested in meeting with him and talking to him. It's like, and as a mod, I don't like when I was just a mod, I didn't want to be very upfront. I just did a lot of things behind the scenes because I knew the group was never about me, and I never want it to be about me. But since I became the new leader, I had to take the front and center stage a lot of times because of the. Oh wait, did my mic mess up? Here, let me check.
It's messing up a little bit, but it's
okay.
Now, so just carry on.
Okay, sorry. I just want to make sure that I don't want to talk for like 10 minutes and then it all go to waste. But I guess to sort of summarize, it's just like, I am happy that people wanted me to lead, and I feel like I've been doing at least a somewhat decent job with trying to get things moving and trying to help people run the group. And I try focusing on doing a lot of things behind the scenes, so a lot of it goes uncredited, and that's fine with me because it was never about me. But I think deep down, and this is why we really need to make a system other than just a mod vote. Or, well, actually, it wasn't a mod vote, it was a group vote, but we need to properly make a system, because I don't want the leader to be someone that's stuck in that position, or that if that leader has to go, that someone else has to go through the process that I went through, which was I don't want other people to have to go through the experience of being either just because someone else didn't want it anymore, or because they had to go.
So I think we can close that door on the drama, the past, and start to look at the future of the Rift City now. What would your plans for the Rift City be now? Where do you see the Rift City in a year's time, and where do you see yourself in a year's time?
Wait, so like 1 year. Let's see. Well, I'm gonna hope that we'll finally fix that banner. That's something that, like, if we go a year by and we don't fix that banner, I'm gonna be like, what were we doing? But like in a year's time, I would say I'm gonna hope that we have more streams, and we should probably try to get back. And I'm gonna hope that we have more chats about like the MLP episodes and whatnot. I'm gonna hope that the group is bigger, which I fully anticipate because it is being well received. But And I guess like in a year time, I'm gonna hope that like the group gets properly recognized as a group, and that we can start to have like a stronger online presence, as well as like something that I'd love to do is to try to get the Rift City to go, and this was something that Jake, you wanted to. You wanted to try to get members to go to BronyCon and try to do stuff there. And then there's also HackCon, which is an online convention that we also are looking into as well. But something I want to do is I want to actually build up the Rift City so that it gets well recognized, so that eventually we can as a group like go to conventions as a group of friends, hang out at a convention, maybe do like, I would be ecstatic if we could get just like one panel, even if it's something as just as silly as just or as basic as just like a Q&A. But if we could get like an actual presence, I feel like that's what I think a lot of our members would enjoy, because the because this group, it's very small, but it's growing very well, and it's getting recognized by multiple people in the cafe, and I that's really all I can say for. I don't know about other groups that recognize it, except I guess the Void as well, because we stole some of their members.
We stole everyone's members. But where do you see yourself in a year's time?
I'm gonna freaking hope that I'm finally doing things with my channel. Something I want to do is work with more people, not necessarily on my channel, but like try to do collaborations and stuff, because those are always fun to do and just a great time. But I also want to build like a better, I guess, my own presence, not necessarily because I want popularity and whatnot, but I want to do, like, when I set out to do things on YouTube, I wanted to add creative thought. I never wanted popularity or people to like me. Now, I still enjoy the popularity and the responses I get, but what I really want to do is add creative thought, because I really hate it when people think of something and they just think of it so linearly. Like they think, oh, this leads to that equals such and such, like 2 + 2 is always 4, but they don't go like, why is it 4? Or why is it that these ideas lead to problems? And then there's some people that like straight up don't acknowledge other possibilities. Like one of the biggest complaints I ever had, like, and it's something I want to do on my channel, and I'm gonna be doing in the future, is I want to review like episodes of MLP that I feel people either they don't get enough credit for what they did or what they tried to do, or episodes I feel as if they haven't been properly reviewed. One of which I've mentioned before is Putting Your Hoof Down, because I understand it's with Josh Scorcher and Mr. Enter. I understand the paradox idea that he was trying to push for, but the issue is that he didn't really expand on it, because satisfaction and the way you're satisfied with something doesn't mean you just got the results that you were initially looking for. That's not what satisfaction is. Satisfaction means you got what you wanted, at least enough of it, and it's, the result is good, and that you appreciate the result. You can get like there's a old saying that goes, if you keep winning like this, you'll lose the war. Like you can do well, but the cost be so great that it isn't worth it after a while, or over time it doesn't become worth it.
One of the best things you have gained from the group that you haven't mentioned yet is your girlfriend, your wife-to-be, Mirror.
Oh boy, here we go.
You knew this was coming eventually.
Yeah, I mean, it was originally in the description.
But did you ever expect to get a girlfriend through this kind of group, or did you even expect to find someone? And what was it like the first time you two met?
Oh boy. Give me a second there, I gotta catch my breath. Let's see then. This is Jesus, you just thought of everything, haven't you?
It was in the title, you knew.
Yeah, I know, it was there before, but I totally, like, after talking for like 40 minutes now, I totally forgot that was on the list. Darn. Let's see. It's like I did had I did have a girl phrasing. I can't grammar anymore. Apparently Mirror has the curse of Mirror is I can't grammar right now. I did date someone before I started dating Mirror, and it was kind of like this odd. It was kind of an odd phase because like I think I first met Mirror in the call I joined, the first call I was with Jakey on the Rip City Banter thing that he did on his channel. I think that was the first time I ever like met her, quote unquote. Like we were in the room, we were in the call, but I don't think I ever like talked to her specifically. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know. Like I don't remember it well enough. But then after that call, we kept the Google Hangouts group for that call, for the stream. So then a lot of people kept chatting in it, and we kept and then we started having calls and stuff. So I joined those calls, and I would talk to Mirror more often. But like I met Mirror, then a bit later I got into my first relationship, and then that went away, and then I kept hanging out with Mirror and stuff, and then it was before, like the month before August. I don't know calendars. Shoot, that's July, right? It's
I don't know.
no one knows how a calendar works in this group. But like the months before August was or like just between the time I broke up with my first girlfriend and between that and August was when I started liking Mirror more. But then I didn't want to tell her because I didn't want to bug her about it, as well as the fact that like my first relationship was an online relationship, and for those that don't know how online relationships works, they're really hard because there's so many. You can't do a lot of things you can with a person that you can see in person. Like you can't go out to lunch together, you can't, you know, hold hands and stuff, and it's a lot harder because it's like but something I kind of like about online relationships is that, you know, it's purely focused on the fact that you want to be with this person, not just because you think they're pretty or because you think they're attractive and you want to do things with them. Like when you have an online relationship, it's really, at least from my experience, it's really because you want to be with that person and hang out with that person. But with Mirror, so like I said, I dated. She's my second girlfriend. That like she's the second person I've dated / currently dating. You know, and after getting out of my first relationship, I was like so not into dating because I felt so bad about the first relationship. I mentioned a lot of this information in my How I Met Mirror video, but like. After that, I didn't feel comfortable in getting into another relationship. Especially one of my biggest pet peeves I have with a lot of people is if they get out of a relationship quickly and then hop into a new one. Like I don't know, like I've explained before why I don't like that, but I'm not gonna hash on it too much. But to me, I just didn't want to become that guy that I always describe not liking all the time. So I wanted to definitely not just jump into a new relationship, and try to take some time to fix my mental stability. And then after a while, and then the second reason I didn't want to ask her out was because it would be an online relationship, and I didn't know if she would be willing to like put in the effort for that, or heck, that she even liked me or knew me well enough that she would even consider the idea. So then, with time goes on, and again, I mentioned my How I Met Mirror video. There's a really funny time because one night we stayed up till like I think it was midnight watching and talking about an anime called Jellyfish Princess. And it was really funny. I stayed up so late, and it was on a school night. And my mom gets back from work, and she's like, "What the hell are you doing?" So I just had to like. Suddenly say I have to leave and then drop out of the call. And so yeah, but like we watched the whole anime. It's just one season, it's a couple episodes, and we watched the whole thing together. And that was like one of the biggest times I really enjoyed spending with her, and we talked a lot. I liked her a lot more after that. And then she also later told me after we started dating that was one of the biggest things for her that really got her interested in me. And then like I think like a couple weeks go by where it's me, Pat Rex, and Mira we're in a call, and then we're just like the call's starting to die down a bit. And then Mira's like, "Hey, how do you ask guys out?" And then me and Pat Rex just kind of froze for a second there because we weren't expecting it. And then Mira said she likes them.
Cool. I think I was in that call.
Were you? I don't know. It was me and Pat Rex. Those were the only people I remember that called. Maybe you popped in momentarily, but I don't remember that. But like she mentioned that she likes someone, and then so we were like trying to help her talk to this person. And every now and then I would I was like during this time I was suspicious. I was like, God, please tell me it's not me. So I was kind of suspicious of who it was, and obviously I didn't want to force her to tell me, but I was like trying to coach her through it to get her to ask the guy and tell him. And she said it was a friend. I'm like, God, no, please not me. And then it isn't until one day she asked what time I'm going to sleep that night because it was a school night. So I'm like, I'll probably be asleep by 12. And I'm like, why do you ask? And she said, no reason. And like my BS detector was going way off. It was like, yeah, that's not suspicious at all. And then so I go to sleep. I wake up the next morning, and I open up my laptop to see if I got, because I do it because I was a mod, so I always check in the morning, see if I've missed things. And I checked, and I got a message from Mirror, and I'm like, please no, please no. I click it, and then it says, I like you. And I'm like, crap. Because now I had to go through a whole school day with that in the back of my mind the entire time. And it's not until, and even when I get home, she doesn't get out of school till later. So I still had to wait until she was home too, so I could talk to her about it. And then we had like
a really good romance now, hasn't it?
Yeah, it did work out pretty fantastically though. So like we talked for about a week, and and it was like 5 minutes before midnight, I like get her to ask me out. And then I have the official date. I believe it was August the 16th, but I'll need to double check. I have it written down, and it's also in the video because I'm not good at remembering things, so I have to write these dates down and stuff.
What after that date? What's been the most fun you've had with Mirror? Whether it's been in a call, whether it's been just the two of you, whether
I would say
whether it's out and about or other stuff.
It's 19. Jesus. Of course, Mira comes in literally just to correct me. Thank you for that. It was the 19th. Wow. Leave it to Mira to come in here and just wreck me. That's great. Anyway, but like I do have it written down. But like here, if I pull up my phone, if I go to the notes and I go to Mira Marvel, because it's August 19th. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's there. Okay, see, I have it on my phone. I do have it saved. I'm not that bad of a boyfriend. but yeah, most fun thing that we've done together, and we're going to avoid looking at in terrible implications. But
you know me too well.
Yeah, yes, I do. I do, unfortunately. Oh boy, but I think probably it was shoot, I don't know, because there was like there was times where like it's usually we started trying after dating for a couple months. She wanted help writing scripts and stuff, so then we do private calls together. And then later, when as we got more comfortable with each other, we then started doing private calls where we watch movies and stuff together. I think, oddly enough, like very recently, we started watching Detroit Become Human together because she got me into that, and I still have huge gripes with the game, which is why I didn't want to get into it to begin with. But then I figured I saw some funny stuff from it, so I'd look into it. So I think probably one of the best things that we've done together is like have been our late night calls and stuff, but specifically the ones where we watch Detroit Become Human, because it just like I don't know how we did it, but like because Detroit Become Human's all about androids and android society, but because Detroit Become Human has all these funny extra bits about what it's like to live in this futuristic world, we just like me and Mira just had really nice conversations about it and stuff. And like I I really enjoyed hearing a lot of the things that she had to say about like the game and about sort of like these futuristic societies and stuff. And like I don't want to go into specifics of what we said because obviously I don't want to give away information that Mira doesn't want to come back and be embarrassing and that people will hold over a head later and stuff.
Actually, what is the most? Is there anything you can say that you might want to say that could embarrass Mira?
Oh wow, dude. You call it, you tried to get me to boy. I guess like some things is that like shoot, we've had multiple times where we had really deep conversations and stuff, and I really appreciate that she's been able to tell me things that she doesn't tell, the average person. And like, a lot of these things come from like our discussions with Detroit Become Human because and a lot of them from different calls as well. But like, there have been like conversations about like families and stuff in Detroit Become Human, and I really enjoyed talking to Mira about that stuff because we have like I won't say our views and stuff, but when we talked about it, I really loved hearing what she had to say because then I was like, oh my gosh, I have very similar like family values, quote unquote, so to speak. Like we agreed on a lot of the things of like what we'd want for like a family and stuff and what we want to do together. And those are probably like my favorite things.
Mira's watching this and she's just going,
like, oh, maybe potentially.
She's like,
yeah, but like sorry, go ahead.
As someone who's been viewing a relationship, I've seen it go from strength to strength, and it's a great thing that you're very lucky that you've not just found someone you love, but someone you can talk to about many things, and you can work on projects with and relate to in many different ways. And I think you are a lucky person in that sense, if you don't mind me saying.
Oh no, that's totally fine. Thank you very much. And I guess like something that I really enjoyed in relation with being with Mira is the fact that like there were some things that like I used to find more necessary in a relationship. For me personally, like now I've only had online relationships, but like there's always the plan to one day meet because I like one of the things I like is being I like to be I'm a kind of physical person. Like I like to hold people and like so people I'd like to hug Mira one day.
I'm resisting the joke. Carry on.
Resisting bad jokes. Like, one of the things is like for me, being physical with people is something that I really enjoy. Like I like to be physically with people and stuff. But like funnily enough, I think that's how you say it, is that like I like Mira so much that I don't need to like physically be with her. I really want to, and I remind her pretty much every time we call. But like it's something that isn't really a necessity to me because just being able to see her and like make her laugh and talk to her is good enough for me for now, at least. Like I'm still hoping that one day we'll be able to meet and hang out and do stuff together.
If you do ever get to meet, where would be the perfect first meeting point for you to see Mira?
Oh boy, we're trying to go for BronyCon. That's the plan, but it's really an issue of budgeting. It's her money's the issue. For me, it's whether or not my mom's even going to let me go because I am an adult, but I still live under her house, so her rules still apply. But like with that, it's going to be difficult to try to get through. And if we so we're shooting for BronyCon because she, is really big on Branalysis and stuff, and she wants to meet people and stuff like that. She wants to hang out with other people in the fandom and get merchandise and stuff like that. Like, I would really enjoy to see how excited and scared she would be at a convention, because a part of her would be like, I want to see everything, and then the other part of her would be like, I don't want anyone to see me.
Now, I'm going to hold you to this question.
Oh,
if I ever meet you and Mira, Do you ever promise if you meet Mira the first time, do you promise to kiss her?
We were gonna try that, but it's like shoot, I've mentioned this in calls before that like I want to kiss her, but then there's like the thing it goes like I have like a funny way of like romanticizing about it, but then when we meet in person, I'm probably gonna be so shy that I won't like be able to do it. And it's gonna be I think we need someone recording it because I think it'd be hysterical to see me in retrospect struggling to do this simple task.
Oh, it's not laser. It's not a simple task. I
Oh boy.
honestly feel your pain, and I will push both of you to kiss each other if I have to. I
Oh
will be
boy.
there as your wingman, as your person who shoves it into her mouth.
Oh boy, that would be hilarious. Then yeah, then I need like my brother is planning on tagging along just because I feel more comfortable driving with him and like he'd be super helpful to be there. So like my brother's probably I'm gonna need my brother to hold a camera during this experience. And then yeah, but yeah, like we're gonna see what happens because part of me wants to kiss her right when I see her. But then there's also the part that's like it'd probably be at the airport and that's a public place. I don't know if I'd have the courage to do it right then and there, but oh well, that's something we'll need to work on. Because I know for Mir, she's probably too shy to like come up to me and kiss me. But we'll try to figure out. And also another funny thing, it's probably gonna be like the weakest, most pathetic kiss ever because I've never kissed anyone.
So throughout this stream, we've talked about many, many different things. We've talked about the past of the city. We've talked about the past of you. We've talked about the hard things of the Rift City. We've talked about the fun things of the Rift City. We've talked about your girlfriend. We've talked about love and relationships. If you could say one lesson to the audience, what lesson would you give that you've learned? What lesson would you say?
What lesson? Let's see.
What lesson have you learned from all of this that you'd give to the audience that is listening?
I would say a lesson from this experience, as well as just like something I'm still trying to truly comprehend myself, is that sometimes there are times where it's like you need to like stop, take a break, and then sit back for a second, because I feel like one of the biggest things for me in the Rift City, as I've mentioned, was that like I like to work on the Rift City. It's probably one of my favorite things to do. Just and like when I was a mod for the first time and I started making stuff, like I just wrote document after document, and I made accounts, and I talked to people, and I just like wrote so much, and I even have a document that really summarizes how insane I am, because it's like 26 pages of text, and it's just like, and with all of this time, like I've just been trying so hard to push forward and forward and forward and forward, and then I think during the drama was probably like the biggest wake up call for me, is because like I'm a person that wants to like keep fighting a fight until I have like really done it in. Like I have covered every inch and corner. I've addressed everything imaginable. But with that, doing that in the Rift City, that like in covering drama stuff, I then had to realize that there are things I have to hold back. I can't just keep pushing forward and forward. And like, and because especially with the Underground Rift and with romance, if I could have kept pushing that, but I then started to see the effects it had on our members, both of our groups, both the Rift City and the Underground Rift, and like I legit had a conversation with my therapist about it because it had gotten so bad in my eyes. And because of him, that's really why I wound down really fast on that conversation about with the Underground Rift and stuff, was because from what I've learned from this experience is that I can do a lot of things and I can keep pushing and pushing and pushing for things, but sometimes you gotta stop and slow down. I've had to there have been times in when I was a mod that I just have to realize that it's not always up to me. I have to wait for the other mods to approve things and wait for those things to get done. When I became the owner, I can only push the group so hard to get things done. I have to respect people that not everyone moves at the same pace. I have to respect that some people just can't make it to calls and meetings. and with my relationship with my girlfriend, I've like bugged her and nagged her about so many things, and even to this day, I still need to learn to stop and like relax and give her a chance to like process things and move at her own pace and stuff, because like I'm like I have this urge to keep running and running and running and running forward, but then I'm losing so much stuff behind me that I need to run back and pick up.
But I may say something. I think you've been amazing, Rod, and I think everyone here, I think, doesn't understand the work Lace has put into this group, and he's done a lot of good stuff for the group. He is the reason why we're here. We are that he has built this community out of his bare hands. Basically, he has built the Google forums. He has built us. He has supported everyone. He has made sure he has handled all the dramas very well. And he's not been here just for the easy bits. He's been here for the hard bits. And I think that's one of the things I do truly respect about you, Laser. You've not just given up at the hard things. You fought so hardly at the hard bits. You fought so hardly at the easy bits. But you've always kept pushing. You've always kept pushing. And even though you're so hard on yourself, you are fair on yourself. And I would love to see more from you. And I think the community as a whole, the group as a whole, has a lot to thank for you. And I think this stream is a massive thank you to you. And I think everyone in the chat massively should thank you for what you've done, if you don't mind me saying that.
No, that's fine. And thank you. It's really great to hear that like the work is coming to do something, and like I've said, that all I really want is to help keep getting things forward and push things forward and stuff. But then there's also the fact that like I am unfortunately still a human being, and I have to do these basic things like eating and sleeping. I know that like multiple days I like forget to eat properly, and there have been times where like because of working on the city and stuff that I've slept less than like 4 hours.
Same.
Because I wanted to keep doing things and stuff. And it's really nice to hear that a lot of it is amounting to stuff, because like we have over 100 subscribers now. We've got a lot of new members coming in. I'm really happy to see that things are moving forward. And like whenever Mirrors probably gives me some of the best reactions and stuff, because she always gets super ecstatic when we get new members and when we're doing things. And it's always nice to see that she's so happy with how a lot of things are going. And then Patrick, you're also very kind and have been super helpful with the group. So thank you for that. And just hearing that, and like as I learn more about you, you're actually really experienced with a lot of things like that we've been doing here. And I'm kind of surprised that that I haven't heard of you before, because of how well you help run groups and stuff.
Well, I think this might be sadly the end of the stream, but have you got anything else that you'd like to say as an ending piece, Laser, or are you going to leave with that? I think that might be the perfect way to end the stream, actually.
Yeah, we can leave it at that. And I guess just to say, like, I guess one last thing is that thank you all for watching. I do really appreciate it. And I am looking forward to help making content for you all, and to try to get some of our other members front and center so that they can be properly represented.
He has been Lazerhawk. I've been Patrick Aubrey. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.